Testing. How is everybody? Welcome. Wim said that there's 10 inches of snow in the Bahamas. There, what? Wait, it doesn't snow in the Bahamas, does it, Wim? Wim, why do you come here with like a trick thing? What are you doing? Welcome, everybody. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Y'all, at least Wim is awake. Listen, are you guys awake? Let me see who I have in the house. Welcome, everybody. Shout out to everybody in the house. Thank you. Make sure you guys are hitting that like button and sharing. We live now, Linda. Let's go. We have so much to talk about. Shout out to Wendy Williams, who has been doing more and more interviews, which is amazing. I can't remember how many the number is, but she's done quite the few at this point. Good morning, Jess. How are you? I haven't seen you in a minute. I have arrived. Welcome. Did she really, Emily DB? I heard, but the files are sealed, right? So I don't know how far she was gonna get with anything. Tracy, welcome. Failed pessimist is in the house. Lacey, welcome. Storm AF, how are you, love? Everybody, Wim says I have arrived. Have y'all arrived? Because I have arrived. I got my coffee. I need the coffee to hit the veins. Wake up. Like I'm not awake yet. I need the coffee to hit the veins. It's not there yet, y'all. It's not. Thank you. I have arrived, says Don. Nebby's in the house. Nebby, have you arrived? Let me know if you've arrived. Yes, thank you. Larry says the way the rabbit has built this channel is phenomenal. I just can't believe how far she's come. God bless the rabbit and God bless the vertical streaming. Well, thank you, Larry. Good morning on this good Sunday. Shout out to you. Kate, my plane was delayed and I had to run to get in here on time. Girl said, no, I'm going to make it here whether the plane is delayed. All right. Whether it goes the other way, we will take the bus, the trolley, whatever it may be. Clearly suppressive. Welcome. I have arrived. Rihanna is in the house. Sweet potatoes in the house. Let me see. Pika's here. What, Pika? Are you late? Look at you, Pika. They're about to ask you for like late slips on you. Thank you. Rabbit says Emily D. Baker ripped about the files being sealed. Evil, we talked about the files being sealed too. Like, how convenient. But let me just say this. Shout out to Emily D. Baker. Y'all know we love the queen, okay? This is not the first guardianship or conservatorship case which files have been sealed. And let me say another thing. Typically, I have noticed that the ones that have been sealed are the ones with, like, money. That's what happened to Jose Verdugo in his file. The man had a work injury and was awarded millions and millions of dollars off of that work injury. And what happened? They sealed. His money dwindled. He was in this conservatorship for 10 years after healing, after showing that he was fine, after having his family come together, say he was fine. He had to get an attorney. Okay. And the people that kept pushing for him not to be heard was the judges in this little committee. There's something going on there. They pay themselves administrative fees, and then the money just dwindles and dwindles. Okay. It's not about their health, the person that they're supporting's health. It's not. It never has been whatsoever. There is something going on there. It truly is. And we need to call it out. Sweet potato, good morning. Good morning. Everybody. Waterproofing new boots. Well, I listen. Oh, how do you use that, like the little spray, failed pessimist? I have some Uggs. Listen, I'm really good at taking care of my shoes because coming from a place of like not having a lot, I still have my first pair of Nikes. An uncle of mine purchased, like I always wanted a pair. I never had a pair of Nike shoes until I was in the 6th grade, right? Can you imagine? And he took me, I'll never forget, to Foot Locker at the mall, and we got a pair of Nikes. And I still like, I've always preserved. So waterproofing is a thing that, like, you use the spray, you take care of them. They might get old. You figure out how to take care of them. I take care of a lot of things, believe it or not. Sometimes there's sentimental value between that. Thank you, Allison. Thank you. Thank you. Good morning. Shout out to you. Hey, KKK. Welcome, love. Shout out to you. Christine, good morning. How are you, love? Thank you, everybody. Marissa Monroe, welcome. Thank you guys for being here. Oh, I liked the video before I got into the chat, so I'm liking every video. That's amazing. Marissa says, does anybody know who Sabrina Morrissey is? If she had a prior relationship with Wendy Williams, my understanding, did not. How does she get selected to be her guardian? It's a network of guardian that exists in this New York City court. I did a whole video and I broke it down. And so they kind of like shuffle who's going to get what case, and it's a specific judge. They plan to keep her in this conservatorship and anybody else in those conservatorships until they die. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Basically, they set up the situation for a person to just die. Okay. That's what happens. It's not about preserving life. It's not about saving somebody. It's about saving their money and watching them so they don't spend it, so that they can spend it. That's what that is. I'm just going to say that. Let's see. Thank you, Tinkle Tits. Tell them to hit the like button and also brush your teeth. Now, listen, if you didn't brush your teeth or your hair before you came here this morning to my house, go back. Go brush your teeth. Go brush your hair. Go do all that, okay? I'm going to say, like, don't come over here with a stank breath, all right? Don't do it. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Welcome, everybody. Yeah, I heard that he had the scoop. That which is sealed can be unsealed. Oh, yes. Tear those files up and unseal them now. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let me see. Aloha, how are you? Shout out to you guys. Vertical streaming is back from the 1800s. Listen, yesterday, before we get started on our topic, all right, because we got a couple minutes, we were live vertical streaming while TikTok shut down. The app glitch. I go to the app. I'm going to show y'all. I go to the app. I still have the app, okay? When I go to the app, oh, Lord have mercy. I'll show y'all, okay? Here's the app, okay? Oh, it says, try to reconnect. It won't let me go through. No internet connection. Tap to retry again. When we know we have internet connection, because I wouldn't be live with you guys. So everybody was having a meltdown. And I was going and I was being nosy in other streams, all right? Let me just say that. I was going to be nosy, and you had a lot of TikTokers, a lot of people that I follow on TikTok came over to YouTube to go live. And you could tell they were really struggling. Like, let me just say that. They were really, really struggling with, like, they were like, this sucks. This really sucks. There's no action here. Like, they didn't have the thousands and thousands of people in the chat. They only had like 20 or 30. Y'all got to build up just like everybody else did, you know? Y'all got to build up, okay? Welcome to YouTube, but TikTokers, you got to build up. I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. What goes viral on TikTok may not go viral on YouTube. And what I found myself to see is that a lot of people that are viral on TikTok were viral for things that might have not gone viral on YouTube. You know what I mean? So they gotta do it. They gotta build up. Everybody has their time. I mean, there's a lot of platforms that I need to build up that I'm still working on, you know. It is what it is. Tico Tits, thank you for the $9.99. Out of all the shows I did audience stuff with, Wendy was the best. She is amazing, and so is her crew. Tinkle Tits, I didn't know you work with Wendy. Shout out to Tinkle Tits. Shout out to my Tinkle Tits. Thank you for the $9.99. I had no idea, Tinkle Tits. I wish you would have told me. Shout out to you. The only reason why I was able to get Nikes is because my mom got hired at a Nike through a temp service. They hired her on a Nike permanently, and if it wasn't for that, I'd be wearing What was the shoe? It was there was Fila's back in those days. Fila's was like the shoe, y'all. Fila's was good, but I'd get mine from the swap meet, so you know that they weren't like the real Fila's. But Fila's was the shoe that we would wear. Reebok was another one. Then you had the LA Gear. LA Gear was pretty cheap at some point. LA Gear went from like being kind of really up there to them. You could buy LA Gear at Payless. And Payless, the last Payless store that I knew of, closed here a couple of years ago. So that Payless was childhood. K-Swiss was another brand. Absolutely. K-Swiss was another brand. But yeah, I still have my first pair of Nikes. You can imagine they don't look like Nikes anymore. Okay. They don't. But I wore them. Even when I was in my 20s, I wore them because, because it was like nostalgia. I saved things. I still have like a baby blanket, y'all. Like I save things like this. I do. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Airwalks was another one. That's right. Vans is a classic. Chucks. You can't go wrong with Chucks, I'm sorry, Marissa. Some of these kids were so horrible, back in those days. You got your first LA gear from the swap meet? Yeah, I got my first fila from the swap meet from El Remate. Firme, the swap meet were fali, not fila. That's why it is what it is. It is what it is. Yo, I love going through memory lane with y'all. You know what? Converse was not like Chucks are not like, if your feet were wide, they're not very friendly for that. They're not comfortable for that. But Chucks were I still have the very first Chucks I ever purchased. Love it. But typically how things were for me is that I had to get a job in order for me to buy some of these brand name things, which is fine, which was early enough. Oh, Skechers were the shoe. I remember when Skechers came out with their boots. Oh, loved it. Loved it. You wore Rawlings from Walmart. There is nothing wrong with Walmart shoes. I'm just going to say that. Most of my shoes came from Payless when I was younger. Years later, I handled their insurance claims. Really, Christine? So there was insurance claims for Payless? That's interesting. Wow. It's like full circle. All right, y'all. All right. So let's get it together. Because we have so much to review. Now, you guys know Wendy Williams, which I thought was fantastic. She has been doing interviews, advocating for herself. I think this has been great because she has allowed people to assess where her mental state is at. That's what she has allowed people to do. Now, jellies, let me say this. Oh, you just brought another memory, and I had to point this out. My mama would not let me wear jellies because she said, because we were in California around this time when jellies came out, and she said that the sole of the shoe would melt to your foot. And I mean, we were in the hot ass sun, so we weren't allowed to wear. I don't know if that's true. Would jellies melt on kids' feet? Let me know. I was happy when I got the first pair that would light up my shoes. Like that was the thing. Hey Flash, how are you? But I remember jellies. I do. So when I see them now, my mama would say shit to scare the shit out of me. I'm not gonna lie to you. Okay. Like she told me that the jellies would I couldn't wear jellies because a lot of kids' feet would melt. I got a lot of trauma from the things that my mama would say. I'm just They did? They said that the jellies would melt your feet. All right. We're not going to do this right now. We will have a whole live stream where we talk about shoes and trauma. All right. Because we're not doing this. We're not doing this right now. All right. Get it together, people. Get it together. Hey, just the T, please say that everybody coming through. Make sure you guys are hitting that like button. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Thank you for being here. And let's go. Laura, girl's laughing. She's like, ha ha ha. No, I go on tangents. I'm unmedicated. I have ADHD, and then I got people in the comments that say, "I would watch your videos, but you don't stick to the topic. You don't you just say hello to everybody, and you be doing too much on your lives. So I don't watch your videos, and yet you're in my comments. Shout out to those people. All right, let's go. Okay. So Wendy Williams is making her rounds, and I think it's fantastic that she has talked about what is going on with her throughout every news outlet, blogger friend. My biggest concern is that I was a little worried because when she first started talking about, kind of the things that she was saying, that people would get canceled or there would be pushback. But honestly, I think Wendy Williams has been talking to the right people. Like, can you imagine having the likes of a Vulture Harley Levin, right? Who goes with the flow, will say one thing one day and then another thing the next day. Imagine having him speak and do a whole video about the fact that, hey, there's something concerning about Wendy Williams' conservatorship. This, my friends, whether it's Wendy Williams or whoever, whomever, should concern everybody, because anybody and everybody will find themselves in a situation where their rights have been taken away. It is very easy, especially when you have, I believe, in my opinion, a marker on your back that basically says you have money and people can profit off of you. And let's be 1000% for real. 1000% for real. This isn't about Wendy Williams' health, her mental state. Nothing, nothing, nothing. This isn't about that. It never has been, because if it was, why are we taking away her ability to just be able to get on the phone, go see her dad, do different things? Just 360, thank you so much for the Cash App, love. I think this was you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, love. Shout out to you. But let's get it together. Let's do this interview. Let's watch. And you guys, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Hopefully this one doesn't get blocked, because the Breakfast Club did, and it sucked. And I might put a little marker up here, to cover Jason Lee's photo.
Jason, I woke up yesterday to a phone call from my friend Wendy Williams. As you know, all of us that do this, we get it from Wendy, and we haven't been able to connect in almost 2 years, probably even 2 years. And there's been so much going on in the news about her, whether she has dementia, whether she's sick, whether she's lost it all, lost her mind. And I've had concerns with not being able to reach her. I've been talking to her family, trying to get her on the phone. Well, I finally got her on the phone and was able to catch up with her yesterday. And I want you to hear what we talked about. Listen.
Good morning, Wendy. Jason, oh my gosh.
How are you?
How long since I've talked to you? Please.
It's been a long time.
Let me tell you something. My life is in a serious situation. I've had this Guardian situation.
Should I put the Fox up? Because they are gonna flag it, and that's a good point. I'll put the Fox up, okay? Y'all, the Fox is here. I'm gonna have to find a different marker to put up. I just haven't had the time to do it. Let's put the Fox up, because they are gonna flag it, and it's gonna suck. Fox, okay? I don't know if I want the Fox up, though. It just feels so off. Let me see if I can do something right quick to put something up real quick. I'm going to play the audio. I have another banner here, but I'm going to find something to put. This one might work better. For now, I'm going to find something so I don't cover my face.
Guardianship person, for 3 years. For me, working in New York is all I wanted to do. My work is finished. The work is finished, a few years, like 3 years, as a matter of fact. And and then, to live in Miami with my family. You understand what I'm saying? That's what I wanted all my goddamn life. And my life has taken into a whole new direction in terms of dealing with a guardian. Look, I feel isolated, Jason.
Yeah, I mean, the thing first of all, Wendy, I miss you and love you. And everybody, you may not see this, is talking about you online and wants to know why they have not freed Wendy. People love you. People miss you.
Have you ever tried to call me and I can't answer? Have you ever tried to?
Absolutely not. In fact, I was telling Alex, you and I would talk almost every day. I would come and see you every time I'm in New York. We would have a great time, and you were always attentive to me, and we would have a great experience. And so I've been so confused at this entire process, and Alex will tell you.
Now, let me say this. Why? My question is this. Now, let me remove this real quick, okay? Let me remove this. Why take away her people? You know what I mean? Like her resources, her family, the things that keep Wendy okay. If this woman has this level of dementia or whatever, isn't that like the thing about dementia and how people treat dementia is that they try to get you familiarized and, close to the things that matter to you, like your family, things like that. Why are they trying to completely isolate this woman so much so that she's not near things like this? Like, why can't she be near Jason? What did Jason Lee do? What did Jason Lee do, or other folks or family, that she's not able to, have these things that matter to her in her life, close to her? I don't get that. When I bet you, Bruce Willis right now, he's being treated, right? Because he's got all these conditions. I bet anything that Bruce Willis is not being locked into, a facility. So, to treat his thing, like whatever he has going on, his Alzheimer's, right? They're putting him near and familiar with family. Why can't she receive the same type of treatment? Who said that this woman had to be locked up to the point where she's not able to have community? She's not able to have family. She's not able to have anything. That's what I want to know. If you guys have an answer to that, let me know in the chat. Like, why would you think that they would do all of this to her? Why? What would be the point? Now, let me play this. I got a marker that's better.
Alex, I've called you multiple times, and Kevin, asking what is going on with Wendy.
Yeah, well, you know what? This is really, you know, like I flew to Miami from New York, you know, for my son. You know, he finished, you know, college, and you know, and I was there in Miami for 9 days. This was, you know, about less than a month ago. You know what I'm saying? We had a great time. You know what I'm saying? The family. I mean, we did so many different things, and this guardian person can't stand that I had such a great time. You know what I'm saying? It's like I'm in prison. Understand what I'm saying?
Well, no, Wendy, I don't know that she's mad that you had a good time. I think she's mad that we now see that you're not incapacitated the way that they've told the media, that you're not, that you've lost all of your mind. You don't know where you are. I mean, the way that they've communicated to the world is almost as if you don't even know who you are. You sound better than ever right now on the phone. So I'm confused.
Thank you. Well, you want to know what? I feel like, you know, I'm being controlled, you know, by the system I'm in. I feel isolated. You understand? I did not know that my cats, my twin cats, were, you know, given to somebody else. I had no idea until, believe it or not,
that's the sad part.
Yep. She tells me, I'm talking about my cats, you know what I'm saying? And actually,
this is the sad part. It's like you don't get to just, I don't get this part. Like her animals being given away. Her animals, like, I don't know about you guys, but I have a dog. My dog is my family. I know some of y'all feel the same way. Like that's part of your family, regardless of whether you like cats or not, you know, depending on where you stand, like it don't matter. You know, animals are your family. Animals feel things. There's a connection. There's a bond. They truly, I think if I remember correctly, she had said that they had sold her cats or something like that. I want to cry about them taking the cats. Absolutely. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. And being in a hospital room, not seeing anything else but a TV makes someone goes crazy. Like, do that. Like, I don't get this. Didn't Bruce Willis just come out with family, said that he's no longer verbal? He can only communicate by eye expression and hand expression. That's what I heard too. But he's being taken care of by family. He's not in a conservatorship, right? And that's the thing. It's like, we're going drastic to Wendy versus Bruce. Like, I'm like, well, how do we know that he's also not being taken care of? Like, well, what if he's also being taken advantage of financially? What's going on here? And it's crazy because it wasn't like her family decided this. It was a bank that decided this. It was a bank that made the outcry first. So I need to understand. If she's so unwell, it is always best to see familiar faces. Patty Cat, thank you. The cats being taken away from her was cruel. Period. It is. Thank you. Bruce Willis ain't alerting celebrities of their secrets. Wendy can or will. Bruce wasn't the one exposing things, right? Like, peep that right there, guys. Think about it. Wendy Williams exposed a lot. Why do you think a lot of celebrities aren't standing up and speaking in support? I mean, we have some here, like, don't get me wrong, but like the ones that you know, have worked with Wendy Williams. Wendy Williams had a lot of people that did not like her because she was exposing a lot of things. She really was. Now, was she right about everything that she said and did? No. Maybe there were some things that I wouldn't necessarily agree on, but I don't think that her freedom should be taken away. There's a difference. You know what I mean? Yeah, Cheeks, you can't ignore the gender. You can't. There's a lot of things you can't ignore about this. Let's be 1000% correct, okay? There's a lot that we cannot ignore. Aya Vamos, thank you for being a member for 3 months. Shout out to you, love. Thank you. And Aya Vamos just gifted 10 memberships. My goodness. Lord have mercy, Aya Vamos. Thank you for the blessing. Hold up. Now, I'm telling you, Baby Bunny will disconnect things on my computer. Thank you. If you guys have been blessed by Ay Ya Vamos, or Ay Vamos. See, my mom says Ay Vamos. Ay Vamos or Ay Ya Vamos. One of the two. Thank you, love. Shout out to you. Thank you for the blessing. You said I have an unpopular opinion. Say it, Chico. We like unpopular opinions. We're not popular. Yes, we are. You are more than welcome to your unpopular opinion. Say it.
Alex, I didn't tell you. You know, my friend Lisa, and Lisa said, Wendy, I would have taken both of the cats until you're ready to have the cat back to you. I was like, oh my God, she would have. You know what I'm saying? Look, it's simple things like, you know, if I want to go out, I'm only going out because, you know, I'm going.
Like a dentist appointment or something like that.
Thank you. Listen, Jason. It's been so long since I've talked to you that I'm sorry if I'm trying. And Alex, thank you for talking me along. You know what I'm saying? Listen. I got liposuction breast implants years ago. So working out, going to a gym has always been my mainstay. You understand what I'm saying? So it turns out that it wasn't until the other week that because I wanted to go to this equinox right here, and I was telling Alex. Anyway, the point is that my life is like, what in the world? This guardianship person. You understand what I'm saying? And regarding anything, pills. This is a pill. Look, where I am, the men and women are in their 90s. Some are in their 80s and some are in their 70s, and I don't care if they're 60 like me. And nobody here is anything like me in the way of feeling and moving and talking. I don't have anybody to talk to here. You understand? This is an old age home. This is the type of home. Well, Alex, you've been here before. You understand where I am. Listen, Jason, I eat food right here on the couch. I watch TV. I've got radio, and I look at the window. And this is what I do.
This is fucking sad, guys. And I agree, Vic. 190, thank you for the 199 love. Shout out to you. Thank you for covering. We need to protect our elderly. I'm all for I think, in my opinion, that, how does she feel about where she's at right now? In this interview, she talks about her body, yada, is still a body. Like, she still looks good for her age. And, she missed being around a man. Like, these are needs. You know what I mean? So for me, it's like her mind she just sounds like a woman that is getting older. All right. That has a lot of wisdom. All right. Shout out to my beautiful older women. That has a lot of wisdom. Okay. Because we're all going to get there someday. And also, I just love what she says here when she talks about just like, I am at this point in my life where I still look good and feel good. Like, why is she trapped in here? You know what I mean? Like, and to me, age is about mental state too. Like, where do you land? Where do you feel? If you know what I mean. Do y'all think Wendy kind of tried to take these folks out a little too early? Folks was not ready for Diddy being, they were not ready for him to be gay. Okay, let's be real. When Diddy had been outed many years ago, and Wendy was one that had put that out there. There was beef between them. Okay, it was a beef that had been happening for many years, and he tried to cancel her behind the scenes in many ways, more than one. Now, was Wendy wrong for outing him? Maybe, that's debatable in my opinion, because she's a blogger to a certain degree. I don't agree with people outing other people, but I think Wendy knew a lot more than what people were saying, and they weren't giving her enough credit. Don't you remember, who was it? It wasn't the City Girls. What girls was it that were set up to go beat her up at the studio? There were some girls, some band that he was doing or whatever. And there was some, and I'll never forget this because she said it in an interview. She said that some girls were sent to go beat her up, to get physical with her. Okay. But the thing about Wendy, and I'm gonna be honest with you, it's not just Diddy. I think the people that, like her husband, he managed her. I always wonder whether Calvin, okay, the man that cheated on her, had a baby, all this other stuff, was also trying to set her up to be on a guardianship. Like, I kind of wondered about this. Now, if she wouldn't have came out a few years ago, I don't think it'd be that bad, right? Like, if she would have waited. But was it? Yeah, who was it though? It was the girls that, because I remember this interview that she did many years ago, okay, and she said so herself that Diddy had sent some girls to go beat her up at the studio. So she wasn't popular to a certain degree. There were some things that she was calling out and some folks that she was standing behind. Now, do I agree with everything that she's done? No, but to me, she doesn't deserve her rights to be taken away. Wendy Williams has paved the way for Jason Lee, for many others, to be able to go online and talk and say a bunch of things and do and be salacious and do different things. We need that, y'all. We need it. Was it total? Why did I think it was the City Girls? Why am I thinking about the City Girls? I'll have to think about why I made that connection. It was the group called Total. Thank you. Yeah, they were outside waiting for her. Yes, they were. Maybe she wanted to open up the topic, but it was the wrong timing. It was the wrong timing. Honestly, in my opinion, it's never a right time to out someone's sexuality. You know what I mean? Like, it's never the right time to do that. But nowadays, I feel like, especially now in vlogging, it's taken a different turn. That's just my thought on that. It's never the right time to do that. Don't ever do that. Don't do that. Okay.
And that's day in and day out.
Yes.
Every day, every
Yes.
week, every
Thank you,
hour.
love.
And, you know, Jason, it's funny because I just want to jump in here real quick, Aunt Wendy, when she was saying, you know, you can hear the exuberance and almost in terms of there's so many different things that she's trying to get out, because all of this has been happening and she hasn't been able to talk to anyone about it. So these are literally our conversations. She can't talk to her friends like you. You know, she can't go out to a simple lunch, you know, and go outside when she wants to. She can't just have unrestricted access to the people and the things that she loves. And, you know, like I was saying earlier, being able to live her life in a dignified way that matches the person that she actually is, not the person that they're trying to put her out here to be, but who she actually is, who we're all hearing in this moment.
See, I feel emotionally abused, Jason. It's like, you know, to be sequestered, you know, the guardian and you know, my system that I happen to be dealing with through this guardian person and the judge and the attorney, you know what I'm saying?
But she can't say the name.
I'm being sequestered so that you can put in the media.
Sequestered. Such a sequestered. Look at the word that she's using. Okay. With somebody like that is debilitating, like she would have her times to kind of go in and out. She said sequestered, y'all. She's been in this thing for what, almost 2 years now? Sequestered? That's such a specific kind of legal word to use, don't you think? It might be the wrong kind, because I think sequester would be for like a jury duty type of situation. But she knows exactly what she's saying here. And you're right, Christine. She was a kind of shock jock back in the day. It was her job to do that kind of stuff. She really was. And she would get into some shit. And I think she made full circle when she did her show because she got to confront some of the people that she was talking to, right? So that was amazing to me. But to me, like, to see such a strong Black woman, okay, because like let's put this out here. There is an issue of race here as well. A strong Black woman being a shock jock, exposing things in the industry, sitting in her chair or purple chair, being able to command the audience and having the following that she did. Who's been able to replace that? Let me know. Because the lady over there that took over the show, I mean, she's got her own show. But nobody's been able to do it the way Wendy does. I'm sorry, it just hasn't happened. Yeah, she did. She got it. Excuse me. She got into it with Whitney and tried it with Mariah. She did. Just got to say that.
Whatever they tell you that I am. You understand what I'm saying, Jason?
Yes. I mean, the one thing that I know for sure is that you loved two things. You loved your show and your audience, and you loved your son. And to me, the way that you disappeared, there's no way in heaven or hell you would have left your son that way. And when I called him to ask him how you were, he was terrified to even have a conversation with me. So it gave me this perception that you were almost being held by terrorists. When you talk to Sabrina Morrissey about getting out, what does she say?
Sabrina Morrissey says anything to keep me here because Sabrina's making money from me, you know.
Thank you.
And she told me that there's no money, and that's a lie. You know.
Thank you. Again, nobody does anything for free. She is getting paid. Nobody does anything for free. Hey, you know what? Survive the Kool-Aid. Can somebody? Are we going to consider Howard Stern for a conservatorship too? That's a great question. I'd like to know. Hell, I'd be the first one to support that conservatorship. Just joking, y'all. I know some of y'all like Howard's. I don't. Yeah, can we get a conservatorship for Mr. Howard Stern too? Thank you, Sunita. Thank you so much. Shout out to you. Thank you for being here. I want to know, but let me know. She was controversial, good or bad. I don't see the same kind of energy around Howard Stern. And Howard Stern did the most. Okay. Thank you. I want to know. I'll never fucking forget how all of them. Don't forget. For me, Howard Stern fucked up when he talked about Selena Quintanilla and the Latino community. All right. Don't forget when she was shot. He likes to forget that shit. When she was shot, when she was killed, what he did on the radio with the co-host was sad. To me, that just spoke volumes of the kind of person. And so I've never supported Howard Stern whatsoever after that, because he wasn't, if he wasn't going to support my Latino community, he's not going to support anybody. He don't give a shit at all. And and I know people say, well, you know, he's a shock jock. He doesn't stand for this. No, I'm sorry. No, put that man in a conservatorship. Put him on a conservatorship and see what happens.
You're not going to be with somebody for 3 years and not make money from me, especially the several million that I know that she had holding me hostage. Like my money, like I have like $15, and that's all I've had for 3 years. You understand?
In terms of in her wallet right now, physically on her, Jason is what she's saying. Yeah.
Excuse me, in my Goyard wallet, like labels are important, darling. But literally, and all of my stuff is in storage. I sold my apartment, which I wanted to do that too. Sell my apartment and live in Miami and be with my family and relax in Miami. And yes, I would like to work again in Miami. But simple work. And that would be something where I could even ask Alex, what do you think about if I do this? And I only want to do it like once a week, or what I'm saying. I got my son a car for his graduation from college, and it had to be approved by my guardian person. It's like my money is my money. You know what I'm saying?
And how she wants to spend it is how she wants to spend it. Everybody's so worried about everybody else's pockets. Britney Spears, they're still worried about her pockets. Every once in a while, she come out here dancing with knives, and people are like, oh my God, she's dancing with knives. Okay. She's dancing with the girl. Did she hurt you? What is she doing? She's fine. She's doing her own thing. She's a survivor of a lot of this shit of being under this guardianship, of a conservatorship, of having to work for other people, making other people money. She's a survivor of that. There are survivors of this. This shit is not working, and it needs to be reformed just as well as the healthcare system, all right? All of this shit. All these people have vested interests. Try not to pay Sabrina Morrissey and see if she'll stick around. Let's see if she's really doing this for free, okay? Because I don't think anybody's doing anything for free. Lena and Love, thank you for being a member for 5 months. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Donnie says, love you, Rabbit. Other needs to learn from you. Aw, Donnie, thank you for being a member for 3 months. Shout out to you guys. Thank you guys for supporting my channel. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's see what you guys are saying in the comments. Absolutely, Yvette. Thank you. She fired the advisor she had, and the bank is still using that advisor to keep her in this BS. It's weird how this goes. You can look at the picture they keep showing of Sabrina Morrissey. The attorney can tell she's evil, girl. Hold up. Yo, BJ, let me tell you what BJ did. She did a video breakdown of, like, she's talking about how Sabrina Morrissey wasn't laughing, that her picture was like this. I can't do her lips. She was like, on like a law picture, and everybody uses that. My girl, smile. What's wrong with you? Do you need a conservatorship, girl? Because I think maybe she needs one. Maybe something's wrong with her. Because honestly, I don't get it. Like, put a conservatorship on the conservator. I don't know.
If I want to get my son, any car in the world, I've got the funds, and it's for my son. You understand what I'm saying?
People were telling me when you were in Miami with your son that they were monitoring you in a way where you didn't even really get to have alone time. That they were always near you, and in a way to try to control what you said, who said what. Is that accurate?
Yeah. Excuse me. Yes, and my family can attest to that. Alex, you know the deal.
Yes, it was. We were being watched like hawks, and there was no period in which I was able to do anything with my aunt, or that I was able to witness anybody else in my family doing things with her. That did not come without eyes on us the whole time.
That's crazy.
It was a very weird feeling.
I mean,
why is she being treated like she can't talk to her? Like, they can't have private family time? They can't have a private conversation? So now she has to be supervised in it? Like, what?
It was something so simple, like, my son Kevin had set up a girls' day where Alex and my sister Wanda and we all went and we had our nails done, you know what I'm saying? And I bought a new wig and we had our toes done and things like that. And I was being monitored like a hawk by these two married, a man and a woman. They're married people. They're from Miami. The girl, on my money, had to fly. The married woman had to fly to New York for them to stay in a hotel on my money overnight. And then the two of us flew back to Miami. For my son, and yes, this is all on my money. The guardian person is spending my money hand over fist. I don't even have receipts from shit.
But I don't understand why you have a guardian when you can clearly take care of yourself. There was a video that surfaced where when you exited your son's party, the driver of your car that the guardian was supposed to have for you wasn't even there, and you couldn't even find your transportation. So how is it that they're your guardian to take care of you, but yet didn't do that?
Oh my God, and that's fact. Oh, thank you for saying that. And you want to know what? And that's one of the many things that the Guardian person did not like. Like, what was I doing in the street? I said I was in the street because I had to cross the street. The common courtesy of a celebrity person like I am, you're supposed to have the car on the same side so I get in comfortably. I don't have to cross the street.
Mm-hmm.
Jason, just you and I have talked. You're talking about now. You know, you guys, your friendship is very clearly obvious to everybody, and this is the first time that she's talking with you
in years.
God knows how long, right? And so right now, you know, in terms of her wanting to speak out, and, you know, she asked me to be on these calls with her, and I'm like, okay, fine. You know, I'm championing you, and that is the free Wendy, and whatever you want in terms of what makes sense for the woman that you are right now, which we are all clearly hearing.
So she can't walk, so she got to be in an automatic wheelchair, and they're trying to make her break. Like, I feel like that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to break her spirit. They're trying to break her mind. They're trying to set her up to just die. Like, Jenny, thank you. Why does conservatorship and equal isolation and slavery so disgusting? That's what I don't get. Like, this is a woman that has worked many, many years for the things that she has, and yet, like, it's almost like she's being punished for it. Does that make sense? This is just so off.
I'm championing that. So we have, you know, we're trying to make sure that we share as much as possible, you know, these interviews, the videos of the fact of who she actually is right now.
Because I am caught up in a system.
Yeah.
And the system is failing me now. I am not being treated right. I'm not being treated with dignity and respect.
Mm-hmm. And so my audience, I have millions of people who are all Wendy watchers, who are Wendy fans, who ask me all the time, where's Wendy, demanding that we do something. What are we asking people to do?
Alex?
And, you know, right now, so a few things. We are, of course, posting as much as possible and sharing with the hashtag freewendy. There's also a GoFundMe that has been started to help with some of the, what will potentially be a long fight, right?
And this is interesting. If this nonsense can happen to Britney Spears, Wendy Williams, and real close, you know, Mariah Carey should be careful. I'm just saying, like, it wouldn't surprise me if they try it with her as well, because her finances have been talked about before. It wouldn't surprise me if it happens with Mariah Carey. This right here is like ridiculous to me. They don't allow her to see her bank statements, her own bank statements. Why? I don't know. They are literally trying to destroy this woman. Like, we're watching her basically dwindle in front of our eyes, and then we're wondering, where is she at? She disappeared. Are we going to see her anymore? What's going on? What's up? What's the deal? It's off. Something is off about this.
And making sure that we can just galvanize around this issue, you know, even larger as well. And, you know, I've talked about before, and that is the guardianship issue in general, in terms of the guardianship system in New York. It's broken. You know, my Ayana said that, I have said that, and there are plenty of reports that back up what I'm saying. So I hope that this conversation, of course, first and foremost, we can get some traction in terms of the Free Wendy movement, you know, and people can share and give in whatever way that they can toward that, but also that we can get the information, the knowledge out there, just in terms of exactly people first understanding fully and completely what a guardianship system is, for those that may not know, and then also where there are cracks in the system. And unfortunately, my aunt is one of the, you know, 20,000 people.
Yes.
A system that's overloaded, and there are not enough guardians. So, you know, there's so many different ways to look at this, but, you know.
Yeah, and also look up, you know, what incapacitated is.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So that you have a clear indication.
She is not incapacitated. I don't care what anybody says. She is not. She could very well be diagnosed with whatever she's diagnosed with, and because of the disease, it's a slow progression. Maybe, what was it in the chat that you guys said that if you have Alzheimer's, it affects you at night? But let me be real. Her files are sealed. We don't have a brain scan. We don't have a nothing to really support any of that. Has her family been able to see any of her medical records? That's the question that I have for Alex, because that would be at least get a real good understanding. And you're right, the real deal. I'm telling you, I think this is only happening to rich women that are single. If a man is married, he would be left with his wife, which makes me wonder. Sundowning, thank you, Jason. Thank you. Which makes me wonder if Wendy had still been married to Kevin or whomever, or Kelvin, would this be happening to her right now? Would this be happening to her right now? Would she be set up the way that she's being set up? This is not okay. And this woman has been through a lot in the last couple of years. I mean, first of all, she was newly diagnosed with their thyroid issue, which, by the way, that does affect your mental health. So that's a huge deal. And I think that somehow we're saying, not looking at her brain, but we're saying that, you know, this can lead to her to be completely done, and she's incapacitated is ridiculous, because there's all kinds of treatments that can happen. You know, Susie Q, these conservatorships need to be transparent, and they're not. They're not. Let me go to Emily D. Baker real quick so I can show you guys what I'm talking about. Now, let me put Rabbit down here real quick. She said something here, and we've been knowing that these files were sealed. I'm glad that she's talking about it, but everything is sealed, okay? Just so everybody's aware.
Wendy Williams is fighting with Wells Fargo over her frozen assets. Their motion to seal the case has been granted. So everything is now sealed, which means we are not going to know much more about this case. And that just makes me so mad. Why does it make you so mad, Emily? Well, part of it is that in the Britney case, we saw how much wildness went on. And I'm not saying that this is going to be like that.
No, but Emily, shout out to Emily D. Baker that she said this. And I believe this is an older video. This is of public interest, right? That here's this woman whose job was very much public facing. We need to know what's going on because we saw with Britney Spears and all the abuse that happened. Why can't we have the same energy here? We need to have it.
But I think transparency is one of the things that helped in the Britney case because others could see what was going on and others are not going to be able to see what's going on here. I completely understand that sealing documents that talk about specific medical concerns should be sealed. It is no one's business, specific details, but those things can also be redacted. Sealing the entire file is a lot for me because there are two parts of this. There is the motions with Wells Fargo to unfreeze the assets going on. And then there is the second part of it where Wells Fargo is asking for a guardianship, which is essentially a conservatorship. It's just same thing, different name. I don't love at all that the entire case in not the conservatorship part, not the guardianship part, the entire case where they are suing for a preliminary injunction and temporary restraining order to have access to Wendy Williams's funds, it keeps everything out of the public eye. And again, I think there is room to redact information. I think there's room to redact specific medical or financial information. I think sealing the entire thing is a big move. I try to trust that the courts have people's best interest in mind, but also sometimes I've been burned by that. So I'm just concerned and nervous about what's going on here. I am
in this case, based on the little committee and group thing that I've exposed already a couple months ago, based on the fact that they sit there and they decide whose cases and they can donate to a lawyer, can donate to a judge's, a magistrate's little, office running thing. Based on that, there is nothing to me that says that anybody has anybody's best interest. And where is an independent review of this? Because I want to know. Okay, a court can be reviewed. This needs to be reviewed. Thank you. Like it just does. Thank you, Fabulous Fab. The largest transfer of property and wealth is about to be transferred globally to the next of the family. I feel like these organizations are trying to I can't even read the word. Commandeer as much as possible the assets, right, Fabulous Fab? Is there no audit to the court? Who audits the courts? Who audits just like you would audit a bank? Use the customer's money for their own monetary interests. Listen, Wells Fargo has been fucked for a long time. Let me be very real. Since what, 2008? My family was part of that. My family lost their home in 2008. 2006 or 7 when the whole crash happened? Okay, Wells Fargo. They never had anybody's best interest. There was a lot of people that were fucked. My family was part of that. So I understand this piece right here. Okay. So then now you have the bank who has concerns and they're going to submit paperwork because they have concerns over somebody who has the most money in their bank and they're depositing and doing different things. Wells Fargo has screwed so many people. Okay. I saw a lot of people, my family exactly, all right, lose their home over this. The Wells Fargo, that whole little, crash that happened. That was horrible. It affected a lot of people, a lot of first-time home buyers that didn't understand what they were getting themselves into. Hands down, Wells Fargo has always been corrupt, and it's one of the oldest banking institutions in the country. But you know what, Susie? I was in high school. Well, no, I was not. I was already out of high school when that happened. It happened a couple years ago. It was really sad. There was a lot of people, Little Lisa says your family couldn't afford their mortgage. It was a lot of people that were set up to fail. honestly. It was a lot. And I'm first generation of that. So I understand what it's like to somebody selling you a dream to tell you like, hey, if you buy this house, go buy a house. It's so great. Go buy a house. You want this, right? I understand that. They fell for that hype, first generation in this, and watching that happen. But there was a lot of people, little Lisa, that went through that. Okay. That were sold a dream through a mortgage or being signed up for something. It was a lot. And I'm telling you guys that these banks have never had anybody's best interest. Okay. I don't bank. I used to, many years ago, after that happened, I used to bank with Wells Fargo. And then I completely went to a credit union on my own because of it. But the corruption and the way that they targeted Latino families and, Black families and everything, people were set up to fail through that whole situation. And I was not, I was very young when that happened. I mean, I think I was late teens, early 20s. So I couldn't even tell you that I understood other than the fact that they lost their home. Okay. They lost their home. And you put in years and years of work to that. And it was a setup for a lot of people. A lot of people lost their home. Mm-hmm. So for me, anything Wells Fargo, anything, even credit unions, like you got to be careful, do your research. That's where I bank now is all my stuff is in credit unions. And I'm not saying that I'm 1000% financially. No, because I struggle financially. I think we all do. I'm a regular schmegular person, just like everybody else here. I do my best to stretch as much as I can, and I could do a lot better at it because that's just how we're all set up. We're all normal human beings, right? But I'm telling you right now, better to bank locally. Okay. And even that it's hard, after that happened, it was a lot of trauma in my family. After that happened, watching that go down, it was a lot of trauma. So I tell you that Wells Fargo is as crooked as they come.
Trying to be optimistic. But all we know is that on February 16th, the court has sealed it. I'm going to keep checking in on it. And maybe Wendy's legal team will fight this ruling to seal everything instead of just sealing parts of it. This is something Wells Fargo asked about and was granted.
Wow.
So, okay. So there's that.
Thanks
for joining me. If you enjoyed this episode,
shout out to Emily D. Baker. You guys, of course, everybody's here. Subscribe to her. Hold up. Now, let me go back to the interview right quick. Oh, here it is. But it's always been sealed. I just don't get it. And Fabulous Fab, you know what is so crazy? It's like, my great-great-grandmother, wait, let me watch how many greats I put. Great-great-grandmother, once who has since passed away, was always very good about this. She always said, don't put your money in institutions. And this is the mattress money generation, right? But a lot of these people, you got to be careful. Like you can't, even with family, it's hard to trust your money with. So it's just, you can't trust institutions. You got to be careful with the institutions that you have. Okay. That's what I got to say about that.
That is not me. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I'm emotionally abused. And where I am, I stay on this, like I said, I'm on the 5th floor. And Alex has been here. She's seen for a fact exactly where I am. Anything I want to do, I cannot do. I am made to be held like prison. I feel isolated like a mug.
Well, Wendy, I've plotted on breaking you out. I just don't know where to find you because I miss our lunches. and don't forget, we both promised each other we were going to exchange our white friends. I was going to get you Madonna. You're supposed to be getting me Caloripia, and it's not happening.
Listen. I cannot look. I'm sorry, Alex, but let me just talk to Jason. Jason, I cannot wait.
Hold up. Do you see her level of being able to joke? Like this is a consistent conversation that she's having with, Jason Lee. It's not like no interruptions, no in between. She's having a conversation. This is like that girlfriend conversation that you're like, oh yes, we're good. That type of conversation. Ticotit says, Emily's hubby gave me great advice one day. He's a dentist and schooled me on enamel. Yes, save me thousands of dollars. Thank you. I don't know why I read money. Save me thousands of dollars. Thank you, Ticotit. I didn't know her husband was a dentist. Wow. I swear, Tinkle Tits, I'd be learning so much from you. Shout out to you, Tinkle Tits. I didn't know that. Shout out to Emily D. Baker. Listen to how she jokes around.
To date. You know what I'm saying? Listen, I cannot wait to play with, one man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I cannot wait to date until I find that one man forever and for life. And I swear, I mean that mess. And the idea.
She can't wait to date, and she can't wait to find that one man for life. You know what I mean? Like, she still has her needs, like her desires to be able to, connect with somebody. I think that's important. That speaks to kind of where as a woman she's at, like that she wants to meet somebody. She can't wait. I thought this was so important because to me that spoke to kind of like where she's at emotionally and mentally. Like she wants to be able to settle down with somebody.
That these men here, I wouldn't even give. I'm talking about sexually speaking. You know what I'm saying? Look. For the last 3 years, I've looked. I don't see them. But you want to know what I do? When I take off my body and I look at myself, I'm like, hey, I'm hitting and holding. When can I get out and meet these men?
No, we've seen you recently. You look great. You sound great. I'm extremely happy. It's been an emotional roller coaster because when they told the press or when they released this lie that you had dementia and had forgot everything, I really was wondering, like, would she remember me? Because I know, like, you're the queen of what we do, and a lot of us that are doing this, that are sharing your message, are only doing it because of you. And the thought that the things that they said about you was happening, we weren't able to be there for you, was really sad. And I'm just happy that Alex finally got us together.
Yeah.
Well, that's why, when people talk about, dementia, you know what I'm saying? This the whole thing about dementia and that, I've got to prove and I've got to show, like, thank God I talk on the phone with you. And in terms of also what I want to do when I get to Miami, and Alex, I told you this too, I want to talk to people about dementia. And I don't even know how to do that, but Alex and other people, I need, like, when I live in Miami.
She wants to educate people on dementia. I think she's aware that, there's some things that are not going well, which I think is important, right? Because then she could advocate for herself. Like, I need X, Y, and Z. I need this. I need that. You know what I mean? So it's like, she's not off. Like, she understands what is happening. This is Abby. Thank you. This is not a woman who has Alzheimer's. I know Wendy has her problems over the years, but she is still Wendy, the Wendy that we all know. She is. And she's still talking her mess. That's how it is. Some medications make you repeat things over and over. Like, look. You know what I'm saying? Yes, that's right. That's right. And I mean, some things like, what is natural age progression versus what is a disease versus what's medication? These are things that you have to consider. And then if you have a thyroid problem, that's another thing to consider as well.
I need somebody to, hook me up because we're going where? All right, I'm ready. Because I want to talk, because I want to expose, what I've been through, and you know what I'm saying, and including, people who are married. Why are you still married when clearly, okay, how long have you been going, and talk about that, you know what I'm saying, and people who've never been. Look, I want to talk. I want to talk to normal people. For the last 3 years, I've been talking to
Well, we want you to get out and talk. The one thing I know, and I can say to everybody that I've seen firsthand, is your relationship with Trav, your son, with Alex, your family has had your back from the minute I met you up until today. And so it's never made sense why you're not with family. And I'm glad that you're finally having the courage to talk, because it seems, at least for the last 2 years, that there's been this fear that you can't talk to anybody.
Right.
Thank you. And I know that we are time difference, from Los Angeles to New York, but anyway, I'll talk behind the scenes because we're being taped, correct?
Correct.
Yes. Well, I'd like to talk to you behind the scenes.
Sure. I want to make sure you have my phone number. You can call me anytime.
Yes. Thank you.
Can she?
Can she? So, I mean, here it is, Jason. You've heard.
That's the thing. Can she call anybody at any time? Because it doesn't even seem like she's able to be reached. Thank you. And if she was drinking, thank you for saying this, Susie Q. Alcoholism is not a crime. That's the thing with Bam Margera. His addiction doesn't mean that he needs to be locked in a conservatorship. It's one thing to do treatment and another thing to do a conservatorship. We don't know. Could she have been drinking? And I'm kind of wondering, I'm going to tell you guys something, that Lifetime documentary, how do we know it wasn't like a setup for her? For the people to view her in a certain way. I'm kind of wondering now about intent. All those people there, because did they have their best? Like, it's been a couple years since I've seen it, but I remember and sitting there and thinking, damn, like, okay, so where are those people that did the interviews with her in that little conservatorship Lifetime documentary. And, we were watching her, and then her team was saying, well, she's doing this. Well, was she an alcoholic, or does she have this? What exactly is going on? How do we know that Lifetime documentary wasn't a setup for her to be where she's at right now? Now, I know I'm going to get into some like complete off the wall thinking here, but I have to ask the question, guys. Okay, because it was clearly after that Lifetime thing that this is where we're at right now. How does that happen? Fabulous Fab just gifted 20 memberships. My love, thank you so. Oh my God, Fabulous Fab, thank you for supporting the channel. You guys put some hearts in the chat. Thank you so much, Fabulous Fab, for this. Now hold up, this thing right here. Thank you, Fab. Thank you, Fab. You're amazing. Thank you. Appreciate you. You know that. Thank you, Fab. You're amazing for supporting my channel, love. If you've been blessed, put a heart in the chat. Thank you. I see a lot of people got gifted. Absolutely. They did her dirty. Yes, they did. So I'm wondering if it was a setup. Prove that it's not. Jeanette, put this in all caps. That's Hot Snakes Media documentary. Look what happened to BJ. Huh? I'm glad that she spoke in that documentary, so at least we could see one side and how her words were twisted. But some of us that have been subscribers and followers that understand everything that went down, we knew that her words were twisted. So how do we know it didn't happen to Wendy? Huh? What about this whole little team that was there with her? Where are they at? I got to rewatch it. I'm going to rewatch it. I need to figure it out because I want to know where that team is at. I want to know what happened to that team. They're not mentioning that team.
You've heard her, you see the reports. People have now seen her. They're hearing her. We're having these conversations. And I think one thing that my aunt has been very clear about is that she doesn't say and negate the fact that, yes, she went through something, and that she's, it took a minute to get on the other side. Yes. She's not negating that. But what she's saying right now that, we're all saying is that she clearly is not the person that we saw. And the messaging that's been put out there is as if she's even worse than we saw her a year ago.
And by the way,
what we're all able to tell, that's just not true.
And by the way, about pills, these people, they're bringing me 8 pills, and I only know 2 pills. I only know 2 pills that I've known forever. So I don't know what these other 7 pills are, but that's all I'm saying about my life. These people come and they bring the pills, but that's what they do for a living. These people who bring the pills. And in this floor where I am, that's what they do. You understand what I'm saying? It's just like I'm in a weird situation. Anyway, continue.
Well, can I ask this? Have they told you what you have to do to get out of this conservatorship?
Excuse me.
Not talk about it.
Look, I can't talk about that, right. but other people can.
Can you imagine? You think she hasn't tried to? You think she hasn't tried to like get out of it? You think she hasn't tried to like negotiate and say like, listen, this is like, I need to get out of it. You think she hasn't tried? I'm glad she came to social media. I'm glad. And hopefully we can all rally together and continue to push back and say what we have to say.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Listen, this is what I want. Okay, this is what I want, and this is what I fought for with my this lawyer person. You know what I'm saying? I tell her, excuse me, this attorney. Is this the Sabrina?
Is this the Sabrina woman?
No. Sabrina is my guardian. Sabrina is my guardian. Sabrina's looking over my money.
She's doing a horrible job, by the way.
Listen, and making sure that I get all these pills up to date. You know what I'm saying? Whatever pills the 7 pills are, and she makes sure that when I have to go out to do something, it's only court approved by, not court approved, but only that it's approved by Sabrina.
You know what my fear is? I'm gonna tell you guys something, and I gotta tell y'all something. She's doing all these interviews right now. What if she's not able to talk anymore? And I mean physically. She's given all these pills, right? She's given all these pills. She's given all this, stuff to take. She doesn't even know what she's taking. Before it used to be 2 pills, and now she's given all these pills. How do we know that she's not like the next pill that she takes, it won't fuck her up or she won't be able to talk anymore? And then now more push and more reason for this conservatorship, right? More reason for it, right? I hate to put it this way, but it wouldn't surprise me.
I might not be able to fly to Miami to wish my dad the 94th birthday because it has to be approved by Sabrina, who did not like the 9 days I was in Miami 3 weeks ago, for my son to graduate from college.
Do you think Sabrina's going to retaliate against you for having these conversations with us? Because I saw Charlemagne's call, Don Lemon's texting me. So clearly you're hitting your rounds with all the right people. Do you think she's going to retaliate?
I have no idea. Maybe she'll take away my phone.
She could, but here's the thing is that somebody said in the chat, hold up, let me see if I Sister Soul says, I wonder if Wendy takes them. I don't think she has an option but to take them, because let me tell you, if she doesn't take them, they watch you take your meds. They watch you take your meds. You know what I mean? If she doesn't take them, then she is deemed as somebody that's, unable to be cooperative. Like, that would then look bad on her for not taking her meds. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. It's like, who's to say that in the next medication that she takes, she won't be able to talk? She won't be able to speak or self-advocate. And then more reason for this conservatorship, right? Because she's forgotten how to talk. But at least it's like she's doing all this. If she doesn't know what she's taking, that's scary. She can't even be given a bank statement. Why? She's asking for one. She wants to know. Non-compliance, Pika. Thank you. Evil Queen, thank you so much for the 10. Thanks for doing this. I love you, Evil Queen. Thank you for being here. Shout out to you, Evil Queen. I have to put this out here. Like, it makes you wonder, what is this all about?
What I'm saying, this phone is not even my phone, by the way. My real phone is with her. This phone that I'm like, I can call people, but people can't call me. Alex knows about this phone.
Yes.
I don't even know what the hell this phone is. Listen, and not only that, but where I am, maybe they'll move me to a new, more, decrepit location in New York. I have no idea. You know what I'm saying? It's like I'm hung out.
Oh my God.
So that she can keep all of my money and make and profit off the philosophy that Wendy.
Rabbit, thank you, Chico, for saying this. Rabbit, you remember the doc? Yeah. This guy right here. Hold up. Let me put him up. This guy right here. I remember. I still have his picture. Okay. A couple months ago, for those that are late, all right, and don't understand this part, Dr. Charles Sophie. This is why I always side-eye Harvey Levin. I never know what to make of him. Britney Spears basically said that she needed to be in a conservatorship again. And here it is. I'll play it for y'all. Okay, you guys can review it. Look. Hold up.
What say you about what we're hearing now about Britney? Does this surprise you?
Look at this.
No, it doesn't surprise me at all, because the conservatorship was there for a reason. And even though, like you said, it might not have been, with the right person, the actual process needs to be in place, because when you have a mental illness to this degree, you need that kind of structure, supervision, and most importantly, to take your medication. And I think that's probably what's happened here.
Look at this.
No medication situation.
Why do you say that?
Well, because of the erratic behavior, the manic-y spending of money, recklessness, destroying people around her. No one feels safe around her. No one can control her. She's out of control on many levels.
Doctor, so what is the answer then? How do you treat a patient that has those sort of issues?
Well, these kinds of situations run into a wall eventually. Either she'll hurt herself, she might hurt someone else, or she can be 5150 because she's not being able to take care of herself.
This was, how many months ago was this? Let's just be clear. 8 months ago, okay? She has been reunited with her children, all right?
And any of those situations will push her to a place where then medication can be given to her against her will.
You tell me if I'm wrong here. I don't see a world in which a judge would put Britney under another conservatorship because of the public outcry there was in the first case, whether it was misplaced or not. I just don't see that happening.
Well, I understand that. But at the end of the day, hopefully a judge would make the decision in the best interest of that patient. And if that's what she requires, even for a temporary amount of time, that's what she would require.
Doctor, is there any argument that could even be made that getting out from under the conservatorship was a horrible thing for Britney Spears, as we sit back and now obviously have watched what's happened?
Absolutely. Hindsight's 20/20, but look at it. She slowly is unraveling. And it was in place and she wasn't unraveling. She might not have been
8 months ago.
happy, but she was stable.
What would you do if you were taking care of Britney Spears? What would be the first thing you'd do today to get her help?
Medication, put it in her. If she doesn't want to take it, I would inject it in her.
Wow.
Medication, put it in her. If she doesn't want to take it, inject it. Out of his own words, okay?
Help.
Medication, put it in her. If she doesn't want to take it, I would inject it in her.
That's it. All right? So for me, is if she is not compliant with the medication, what are they going to do? Medication. Inject it in her. If she doesn't want to take it, it's quacks like this. Okay, quacks like this, whose his own personal life is not doing very well, in my opinion. I've seen a couple of I've heard and I've talked to a couple of the people. This guy right here, quacks like this, who was the head of DCFS in Los Angeles, quacks like this, and who quietly got removed. Don't even get, y'all got to watch my videos on this guy. Okay, that's who's giving you guys the recommendations about medication. This is why it's a difficult situation for Wendy to say, I don't want to take my medication, because it's quacks like this that will say, put it in her, inject it in her against her will.
And Wendy must be decrepit and die in New York without ever seeing my family again.
Well, we can't let that. We're not going to let that happen.
Well, look. This is why I need help. I can't do this by myself, Jason. I can't do it by myself with Alex, and Alex knows that. It just can't be the family that fights for me. It has to be other people involved in the fight of my goddamn life. I'm fighting for life now.
I hear you. And I'm glad that you're fighting.
And by the way, I was watching you on TV. I know it's from old, because you've gone on to do magnificent things.
Oh.
I mean, and it was actually Alex and other people who had to tell me, like, what's Jason doing? What's Jason doing? What's Jason doing? Jason, all I see is that scene 1, episode 1, episode 2, episode 3 from you talking to people, famous people. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I'm following in your footsteps, Wendy. And it's again, we all have to pay homage to you.
Alex, people say that to me, and it makes me so happy. You know what I'm saying? But listen, Jason, you've gone on and done some really smart things. So you are like a person who could advocate for me and my situation that I'm in. And I don't know what that would entail, but my niece Alex absolutely could. Please help me, Jason. And I'm serious.
Oh no, I got your back. I got your back. I'll work with Alex, and then Alex, give her my number. She can call anytime.
Yeah.
Thank you. Well, that's about all the talk. I mean, I don't want to overtalk because I know that you're busy working, and Alex, I know you just got off of work, but it's too expensive to call from New York to Miami. See, I'm looking out for my money, even through this stupid phone that I'm using, and even though
she's looking out for her money. She's looking out for her money. Okay. She is that's what she's doing. And by the way, Jason Lee had a conversation with News Nation as well. Let's review that real quick as well.
You know him from the show. By the way, he just had a great thing happen in his life. He was recently named a Stockton, California City Council member.
Jason Lee.
He's like a public servant now. We're going to play you some of his conversation in a moment, but I want to get his perspective to begin with. Jason joins us now. Jason Lee, congratulations. I have to call you the Honorable now. The Honorable Jason Lee.
Blogger.
Well, Chris, you can call me whatever you want, but I did get appointed vice mayor of Stockton, but I still have a day job, so anytime you need me, I'm here.
I love it. Blogger from Hollywood Unlocked to a civil servant. I went from a civil servant to blogger, so that just wow, that's amazing.
Still the Honorable Jason Lee. What is your take on this?
I know Wendy and Chris, what I love about the fairness and how you just set this up is Wendy has been battling her demons for a while, right? People who've been close to her like me, I've been around Wendy for the last 8 years. I've been on her show several times, been in her home. We've shared a lot of personal time together. I've seen Wendy go through her own personal challenges, but having talked to her today and being able to share that with my audience and now your audience, I have never in the last 8 years heard Wendy be so clear-minded, focused, very aware of her situation and where she is in life. And what I've gotten from it is maybe there was a period where she needed a break and she got that break, but now she wants to be with her family. She wants control over her finances and she wants to be able to control her life. The way she talked to me about her situation was that she's living in prison, that she's been held captive and that she's not allowed any freedom whatsoever. And now she's afraid that something could happen as a result of her speaking out.
Wow.
So Jason, first of all, bravo to you for telling the story, getting the access and bringing it out to advocate. Let's play some of it now for the audience.
I've had this guardianship person, for 3 years.
You sound better than ever right now on the phone, so I'm confused.
Thank you. Well, you want to know what? I feel like, I'm being controlled, by the system I'm in. I feel isolated. I don't have anybody to talk to here. I eat food right here on the couch. I watch TV. I've got radio, and I look at the window.
When you talk to Sabrina Morrissey about getting out, what does she say?
Sabrina Morrissey says anything to keep me here because Sabrina's making money from me.
Do you think Sabrina's going to retaliate against you for having these conversations with us?
I have no idea. Maybe she'll take away my phone. Maybe they'll move me to a new, more, decrepit location in New York. I have no idea. You know what I'm saying? It's like I'm hung out to dry so that she can keep all of my money. This is why I need help. I can't do this by myself, Jason. It just can't be the family that fights for me. It has to be other people involved in the fight of my goddamn life.
Absolutely.
Now, I will say Jason is correct in what he said during that interview. Again, I am not friends with Wendy Williams. I'm also not going to judge her health. That is not my position to do. But I'm telling you, I've been with her more than once. She has never sounded like this in terms of lucidity. Now, there is a due process consideration and there is a standard to challenge the conservatorship. It
needs to be challenged. By the way, I have pinned Wendy Williams GoFundMe in the chat, so you guys can check it out. Make sure you share it. A couple dollars here and there. If you have it, don't feel like everybody has to or anything like that. But if you're able to share it, that would be amazing. I did notice that it did go up to now. She's asking, her goal is $50,000. She's raised $23,495. So that's amazing. And there's a lot of people that support her, that if this is what's needed for her to fight, because let me tell you, whether you like Wendy or not, it's not just Wendy, y'all. There's a lot of people that are finding themselves in conservatorships like this that are imprisoned by this, and nobody is doing anything about it. If this can happen to her, it can happen to you. It can happen to your loved ones. And what are you going to do about it? That's the question. Something needs to happen in this situation. It needs to be reviewed, audited. Sabrina Morrissey needs to be looked at. All of her conservatorships, all the people that she is currently under, and she's under her supervision.
That the natural route for her.
Well, that's what we're wondering. A lot of us are learning how conservatorships work, and we went through the whole Free Britney movement, so we saw what she was going through, right? In Wendy's situation, her family, for a long period of time, her son, who she loved more than anything in the world, weren't even able to contact her. They had to wait until she contacted them, and they only allowed that to happen when they wanted her to have contact. So Wendy had no money, no phone, no resource, and no way of people getting in touch with her. So for people who love her on a more personal, intimate level, like her family, they didn't even have checks and balances to make sure that her care was happening properly. And just recently, she went to Miami to be with her son during his graduation. The money had been cut off in supporting him to where he got an eviction notice on his property. And while she was there with him, there was a video that surfaced online where when she went out to find her car, the handlers didn't even know where her car was. So she was just sitting out in the street. And so one of the questions we all have now as her friends, because Charlamagne and I are committed to helping Wendy get her message out to her audience.
He said her handlers. Y'all caught that? I love it. I love it. I love it.
Is how is it that her family doesn't have a right to have this conservatorship reviewed? Why does Sabrina Morrissey have so much control and refusing to come forward and speak publicly, although she keeps dropping these alleged dementia claims? You know, why is there no?
Yes, and pay attention to the articles and where are they happening? In Touch, what is it, Lifestyle, or whatever other blogs out there. They're the ones that keep dropping the narrative that Sabrina Morrissey is putting. She may not directly be speaking to them, or maybe she is, I don't know. But to me, this sounds very interesting. He's right. Why is the media quick to speak on her dementia, but they're not quick to speak? Like, it's weird how they planted this out here. Her handlers don't even take care of her. He said it. He said it.
Accountability. And how does Wendy get due process? None of us know the answer to that, including Wendy.
Hey, thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com.
That is the question. How does she get due process? Why isn't this being evaluated and reviewed? Y'all, let me know your thoughts in the comments about this. Okay. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Guys are amazing. Thank you for allowing me to talk about this. This is amazing. I love talking to you guys about this. We will continue to hashtag Free Wendy. Make sure you guys are sharing that GoFundMe in your social media. Make sure you're always hashtagging the Free Wendy thing, you know, hashtag Free Wendy on Twitter, all over, because people need to pay attention. And Sabrina Morrissey, you got some questions. You got people to answer to at this point, because it needs to be said. And I'm glad that people are standing up and really making a fuss and noise about this, because she is, I promise you, look into the Jose Verdugo case. Jose Verdugo, who was in a conservatorship for 10 years, and this woman oversaw it, as well as those judges. There's about 3 or 4 judges in this whole little ring. Okay. It's off. Something is off. All right. And it needs to be reviewed. Check it out. My last video, I put on the community wall on it as well. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I want to see it all. I want to see attorney fees, hospice doctors. I want to see everything. I want to see bank statements. There needs to be transparency. Why is everything under seal? It doesn't always have to be about medical records. Why can't her bank statements be public knowledge and record? That's what we need to ask. The web is webbing. You ain't never lie, Fabulous Fab. Guys, I'll see you guys on the next one. I got to go tend to Baby Bunny. Please do me a favor and hit that like button. Thank you, thank you, thank you guys for being amazing. Investigate them all. The judges, the attorneys, all the people around. Investigate them all. Period. Point blank. I'll see you guys on the next one. You guys have a great Sunday. Bye, guys.